Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond Parallax. Thank you for joining me. I'm the new Michio. You guys who follow me constantly must imagine that I'm always wearing a suit but without pants and shoes. Yes, you're right. Here not just to talk science, but to explore it the way humanity feels it, with curiosity, humor, and a few goosebumps along the way. And tonight, we're diving into one of the biggest cosmic mysteries making headlines across the world, the story of the comet called 3I Atlas. But this time, we're asking a different question. Is 3I Atlas a warning sign for Earth's future? Now I know what you're thinking. Another comet, another overhyped story, right? But trust me, this one's different because 3I Atlas didn't come from here. It's an interstellar object, a traveler from another star system, a messenger from the deep dark between the suns. Objects like this are so rare that only two have ever been confirmed before. You probably remember Oumuamua, that strange cigar shaped rock that zipped past us in 2017, and Borisov, which looked more like a traditional comet. But 3A Atlas? It's more massive, more active, and way stranger than both. And what scientists are discovering about it has opened up some questions that could change how we think about the cosmos and ourselves. Discovered earlier in the year, 3I Atlas immediately stood out because of its behavior. It wasn't moving the way regular comets move, at least not exactly. It's on a hyperbolic trajectory, meaning it isn't bound to the sun. It simply dropped by our solar neighborhood, made a sharp turn around the sun's gravity, and is now on its way back to the void. That's right, folks. This thing came from another star system, paid us a visit, and it's never coming back. So we basically have one shot to study it. And scientists aren't wasting any time. When telescopes from NASA, ESA, and observatories around the globe locked onto 3I Atlas, what they found was jaw dropping. The object started releasing massive jets of material, plumes of gas, and dust thousands of kilometers long, blasting in all directions. At first, astronomers thought this was normal sublimation, ice turning into vapor as the sun warmed it up. But then came the surprise. The composition of those jets wasn't what they expected. They detected traces of carbon dioxide, water, ammonia, and something else. Microscopic particles of nickel, metallic elements normally buried deep inside rocky cores, not on the surface of comets. What was that material doing there? To make things weirder, its brightness kept fluctuating unpredictably, like it was pulsing. This led to theories, some grounded, others wild. Some scientists think those fluctuations are just the comet's chaotic rotation, a tumbling motion caused by uneven jets. Others, including Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, suggested that these pulses might be something more, perhaps the signature of structured behavior, what he calls a black swan event, a moment so rare and unpredictable that it shatters our assumptions. Loeb often uses that phrase when talking about interstellar visitors, not because they're necessarily alien, but because they remind us that the universe still throws the unexpected our way, and when it does, we need to be ready. Now, the media loved that, of course. Headlines exploded overnight. Is 3A Atlas a threat to Earth? NASA's planetary defense activated. Alien mothership recharging by the sun. It sounds like the stuff of Hollywood until you dig deeper and realize the story's real version is even more fascinating. The truth is, NASA didn't activate any secret defense systems. There was no emergency meeting in Houston, no cloaked spacecraft intercepting the comet. What did happen, though, was just as historic. Space agencies around the world used 3I Atlas as a cosmic scale simulation. They activated global tracking systems, the same ones used to detect asteroids that could one day threaten Earth, to monitor how we would respond to a fast moving interstellar visitor. That's right. We turned this event into a planetary drill. For the first time ever, humanity practiced how to react if something truly dangerous came at us from interstellar space. And that's where the question of this video really takes shape. Because in that sense, maybe 3i Atlas is a warning sign, not a threat, but a reminder. A cosmic billboard glowing across the sky saying, "You're not alone in the galaxy, and you're not invincible either." Think about it. We see comets as these awe-inspiring messengers of light, but throughout history, they've always carried deeper meaning. To ancient civilizations, they were omens. To modern scientists, they're time capsules of the early universe. They tell the story of where we came from icy relics from before our sun ever burned. But when one drifts in from another star entirely, it challenges everything we know about how fragile and rare our existence is. Astronomers estimate that 3I Atlas began its journey hundreds of millions, maybe billions, of years ago. Somewhere out there, in a completely different star system, some gravitational event, maybe a massive planet, maybe a collision, maybe a dying star, launched it into space. And since then, it's just been drifting. Imagine that. Drifting endlessly through the cold abyss, no light, no warmth, nothing until one day it suddenly encounters our sun. The heat tears open its frozen crust, releasing ancient gases that light up like emerald fire. For a brief moment, it burns again, like a cosmic phoenix revived by our star. And then, just as quickly, it leaves. That's beautiful, poetic, even. But it's also unsettling, because every time something like this happens, we're reminded of just how exposed we are. Earth is a tiny oasis floating in space. No shields, no armor, just time and luck. The fact that an object from beyond the galaxy can suddenly appear near our planet without warning humbles even the most skeptical scientists. That's why NASA and the European Space Agency are rushing to expand their planetary defense programs. It's not paranoia, it's preparation. The more we learn about interstellar visitors like 3I Atlas, the better we understand potential cosmic threats. And not just impacts, we're talking about the spread of materials, radiation, even biological compounds that might have ridden here on interstellar dust. And that brings us to another fascinating question. What if comets like this are how life spreads between the stars? It's a theory known as panspermia. The idea that the ingredients for life, amino acids, simple molecules, maybe even microbes, hitch rides on comets and meteorites, jumping from one planetary system to another. If that's true, then maybe 3I Atlas isn't a harbinger of doom. Maybe it's the opposite. A spark of the cosmic cycle of creation, carrying fragments of one world to seed another. Maybe this isn't a warning. Maybe it's a whisper from the cosmos. You're part of something greater. Now, before anyone gets too dreamy, let's talk data again. About 2 weeks ago, the James Webb Space Telescope turned its attention toward 3I Atlas again. Using its powerful infrared spectrometer, Webb picked up something extraordinary: traces of complex carbon compounds. Not artificial signals, but organic chemistry, the raw stuff that builds DNA. These readings don't mean life, but they mean potential. They show that space between the stars isn't sterile, it's alive with chemistry. And when you think about that, it changes everything. This visitor isn't just a question mark, it's evidence that the universe is full of building blocks waiting to be assembled. Still, there's a flip side to every discovery. When Loeb and others talk about black swan cosmic events, they're warning that we shouldn't assume we're safe just because this one passed harmlessly by. Think about it statistically. For every interstellar object we spot, there could be thousands we miss. 3I Atlas is a firefly in the dark, but some of those lights could be coming straight for us. And that's what gives scientists chills. Because while this one is harmless, the next one might not be. Space is full of messengers, and not all bring good news. So, is 3I Atlas a warning sign for Earth's future? Maybe not in a dramatic, brace for impact sense, but in a more profound one. A reminder that the universe is dynamic, unpredictable, and so much bigger than our daily worries. It's sending a signal, not through technology, but through patterns, through movement, through time. It's saying, look up. You're part of something vast and fragile. Don't waste your chance to understand it. When 3I Atlas exits our solar system and disappears into the darkness, it'll carry traces of sunlight, solar dust, maybe even atoms from the outer edge of our atmosphere on its surface. And that's strangely comforting, because it means that a tiny piece of Earth, a breath, a fragment of who we are, will travel back into the interstellar beyond, joining the great cosmic migration of matter. And just maybe, billions of years from now, when another civilization sees that faint, glowing traveler, they'll wonder if it's a warning sign for their future, too. But let's go deeper because there's something almost poetic and perhaps prophetic about how 3I Atlas behaves. Think about it: an interstellar comet hurtling through our solar system at breathtaking speed, releasing green vapor that glows against the void and changing its brightness in unpredictable patterns. It feels like a living being, pulsing, reacting to the sun, adapting as if conscious of its final performance. And yet, under all that spectacle, it's just a frozen relic of time, one of the oldest objects we've ever studied. That duality between chaos and simplicity, destruction and creation, perfectly mirrors humanity's own story. We rise, we fall, we shine, we fade. Maybe, in some unimaginable timeline, beings elsewhere are watching our world pass too, wondering if we, like a comet, are a spark soon to vanish. When scientists at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory calculated 3I Atlas trajectory down to the decimal, they confirmed that it's not going to hit anything. No collisions, no gravitational parkour through the inner planets. It's going to pass quietly through and vanish back into interstellar space. But even that quiet exit carries weight. The fact that this object entered from the direction of Lyra and will leave toward Perseus means it has literally crossed our galactic neighborhood, traveling a path billions of years in the making. When it leaves our sun's reach, its velocity will exceed 56 kilometers per second, enough to escape not only our system's gravity, but also to keep going forever out into the infinite. And that's humbling, because as advanced as our technology is, telescopes orbiting, spectrometers humming, supercomputers modeling its ice, all we can do is watch. Watch and wonder. There's an irony to that helplessness, isn't there? Humans have learned to split atoms, reshape the land, rewrite our own DNA, and yet something as simple as a comet can remind us how small we still are. That's what 3I Atlas brings: perspective. It's not here to harm us, but to humble us. Because one day, something might come that doesn't pass harmlessly by. That's the warning scientists keep referring to. The risk isn't this comet, it's the illusion of control. The danger that we might ignore what the cosmos is constantly teaching us, that vigilance, curiosity, and humility are our only real defenses. Meanwhile, the scientific community is buzzing like never before. Every major observatory is looking at this object from every angle imaginable. The Very Large Telescope in Chile is scanning its coma, that shimmering envelope of gas, trying to identify heavy isotopes. The James Webb Telescope is dissecting its molecular fingerprint. Even the infrared sensors aboard the Lunar Gateway are being tuned to catch its reflection as it arcs near the sun. This collaboration is something truly historic. For the first time in human history, almost every space agency is studying a single interstellar visitor at once, sharing data in real time, not as competitors, but as a united species. Maybe that's the real power of 3I Atlas, the fact that it can bring Earth together under one cosmic curiosity. But outside the labs, the story takes another life of its own. In the media, 3I Atlas became mythology overnight. Memes, documentaries, and podcasts exploded, each taking its own angle, some claiming it's an alien craft testing humanity's curiosity threshold, others calling it a celestial omen tied to Nostradamus or Mayan prophecies, and still others using it as a metaphor for society's collapse or rebirth. The fascination makes sense. Comets have always carried meaning for us, far beyond their physical form. In ancient China, they were seen as stars of misfortune. During the Middle Ages in Europe, they were blamed for everything from plagues to wars. But modern astronomy flipped the script. It turned fear into fascination. Knowledge replaced superstition. When we learned what comets truly were, leftovers from creation itself, they became symbols not of doom, but of origin. Now imagine a movie playing in slow motion, 3I Atlas cruising through the void, its icy shell cracking as sunlight bursts against it, releasing emerald gas that trails behind like a living flame. In its wake, particles older than our planet drift into solar winds that will scatter them across light years. Some of that dust might end up in the upper layers of Jupiter's atmosphere, some might spiral towards Saturn's rings, and who knows, maybe a few grains will fall into our own atmosphere, burning up into fleeting meteor trails. Each time a molecule of that ancient ice subliments, It shares a story from a time before the sun existed, when space was nothing but chaos and potential. It's hard not to feel philosophical standing under that kind of truth. And let's be honest, as much as we love data and precision, what draws us to stories like this is awe. That same primal wonder that made our ancestors carve constellations into stone. We crave meaning in the infinity around us. We look at something like 3i Atlas and wonder, is this random or is it part of something intentional? Maybe the warning isn't about danger at all. Maybe it's about awareness, the universe reminding us not to get lost in our own noise. Look at how we treat this planet, how we act like it's indestructible, yet complain when one heat wave feels like the end of the world. 3i Atlas silently cruises by, watching us panic over viral videos about alien fleets while it just exists. It doesn't need an agenda to warn us. Its existence is the message. Avi Loeb said something recently that stuck with me. He said, every interstellar object is like a messenger with a sealed envelope. The envelope might just contain dust, or it might carry a revelation. Think about that. A traveler from another system, possibly from an entirely different galactic arm, passing through our skies for a brief moment in human history. We intercept that messenger, peek inside its envelope, and maybe, just maybe, glimpse another way nature builds worlds. Maybe the comet represents not fear, but opportunity. A moment where humanity can test how far its curiosity will go before superstition takes over again. That's why at Beyond Parallax, I believe this story isn't about a cosmic warning or divine omen, it's about reflection. Could we one day be someone else's 3A Atlas? Someday, when Earth is long gone and the sun has burned through its final breath, maybe fragments of our planet will drift into interstellar space, just like this comet did. Some far off civilization might aim their telescopes at those fragments and ask the same question we're asking now. Was this a warning or a story? And you know what? I love that thought because it means we're part of a chain that spans eternity. We're not just observers, we're participants. Every comet we study, every asteroid we map, every signal we chase into the stars keeps this dialogue alive between civilizations separated by time, distance, or even existence. That's not science fiction, that's legacy. Now back to 3i Atlas itself. New data suggests that when it reached perihelion, its closest point to the sun, something dramatic happened. Instead of disintegrating like Ison did back in 2013, 3i Atlas flared brighter, releasing a burst of gas 5 times stronger than before. For a few days, its already luminous tail intensified so much that telescopes recorded it radiating with a spectral green glow unlike anything previously observed. Scientists believe this was due to the activation of deep volatile layers, meaning the comet's inner chemistry woke up after billions of years of silence. Just picture that, an object older than humanity's concept of time, roaring to life because it felt the warmth of a star for the first time since it was born. You can almost metaphorically hear it sigh. Sunlight again, it seems to say. For so long, I drifted unseen. But now, for one brief moment, I shine. And that's what makes this story powerful. It's cosmic poetry. It reminds us that even the coldest, loneliest traveler in the universe still has its moment to glow. That's not a warning, that's a lesson in resilience. Yet, let's not sugarcoat it, resilience has its risks. 3i Atlas gave us a show, but it also demonstrated how much energy these bodies can release near a star. If a larger interstellar object ever followed a similar trajectory and passed close to a planet, the outgassing alone could alter orbital dynamics or generate enough debris to cause regional devastation. That's why astronomers are pushing for deeper sky surveys to give us years, maybe decades, of advance notice should anything ever come our way. It's not fear, it's prudence. Knowledge has always been humanity's best shield. So, once again, is 3A Atlas a warning for Earth's future? Maybe it is, but not in the apocalyptic sense that tabloids love to whisper. Maybe it's a cosmic tap on the shoulder, a giant, hey, keep watching the skies. Because if there's one thing this universe guarantees, it's that we won't be alone in our encounters forever. Sooner or later, something else will arrive, perhaps another comet, perhaps something stranger. And when that happens, I hope we meet it with open minds, telescopes ready, and hearts curious enough to ask the right questions instead of fearful ones. Here at Beyond Parallax, that's what drives us: curiosity, not fear. The willingness to look at the unknown and say, "Show me what you've got." Because whether it's a comet blazing green across the heavens or a mysterious signal from beyond, every discovery is a reminder that the greatest warning of all would be to stop wondering, to stop asking why. And that's one warning we should never ignore.